Hello everyone, welcome to Groovy Sauce, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the GameSir T4 Pro. Now that's a wireless PC, Android, iOS, and Switch controller. Alright everybody, let's go ahead and get into the video. So I found this controller on the Amazon best-selling PC controller list, where it currently sits at the number 8 position. Since it was cheap at only $36 and also the top wireless controller on that list, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. Okay, so now just moving on to the unboxing itself, the first thing that I gotta do is just slice through this sticker here and we can actually get inside of the box. There's also a little bit of a cardboard pull tab there, but as soon as I get that out of the way, we can actually get inside. Alright, there we go. Now I just gotta pull out this plastic molding and there we have it. We are inside of the box. Now the first thing that I'm gonna be looking at here is this guitar pick shaped piece of literature. Just setting that aside for the time being. There's also the square piece of literature here, again setting that aside, and here we have a pamphlet with even more literature, again setting that aside. We also have some stickers here with the GameSir logo. They look really cool. I can't wait to use those with like a water bottle or something. Next up we have the manual, and this manual is really thick because it has lots of languages within it, but we're just going to set that aside for the time being. And here we have it, what we're actually looking for here, which is the controller itself. And I do apologize because the controller is black and that black molding in the background is also black, so it can be kind of hard to see there, but I can tell you it feels really great in the hands immediately outside of the molding. Just setting that aside for now. Next up we have the charging cable, and it is a little bit of a short charging cable, but it is the charging cable they give you here nonetheless. Next up is the dongle that the PC players are going to be using here. Now the PC, you have to use this dongle, everything else is Bluetooth, but with the PC you do have to use this dongle, just setting that aside for now. And now the last thing inside of this plastic molding is the attachment that you're going to be using in order to attach your phone to the controller itself. And that pretty much wraps it up for everything inside of the box. Okay, so now just taking the controller for a bit of a test drive in the hands, and it feels pretty amazing. The buttons here are all really solid, everything here just feels really structurally sound, and if you've ever played with an Xbox controller before, it pretty much feels like a spot-on recreation, of course with the addition of the 4 buttons on the back. There's also this textured grip here, which feels pretty amazing. Okay, so now moving on to some mobile gameplay via Bluetooth on my Android phone and the attachment, and the connectivity here via Bluetooth was very simple and easy to do. The connectivity here is also really good throughout gameplay. I had absolutely no issues with lag or anything else like that. It simply worked perfectly with absolutely no issues to speak of. Moving on now to some PC gameplay here with some Killer Instinct, and everything here was super duper quick, which is exactly what you need whenever you're playing fighting games. I had absolutely no issues and everything simply worked wonderfully. Moving on now to some racing games on the PC here with some Garfield Kart, and even with racing games it worked really well. As you know, whenever you're racing in games, precision is very important, and I had absolutely no problems with the controller being very precise throughout the game. Speaking of precision, whenever it comes to platformers, precision is very important, and as you can see here, I'm playing some angry video game nerd that game, and everything here works really well, and you wouldn't be able to do this if the controller wasn't absolutely precise. Moving on now to the additional functions on the controller. If you hold down the turbo button and then up and down on the D-pad, you can increase or decrease the amount of rumble you have on the controller. You can also turn any button into a turbo button by holding down the turbo button and then pressing whatever button you want to be turboed. Turning this off is as easy as repeating this process. There are some additional programmable features with this controller, such as programmable combos. However, the instruction manual in this regard is rather confusing, so expect a headache if you're trying to pull any of these off. Alright, so now just moving on to my final thoughts in summation. First thing is I really love the design and functionality of this controller. It's really solid and it feels very much so like an Xbox controller, and that's a fantastic thing, to be honest. Next up is speed and connectivity. I thought everything here worked excellently, with absolutely no lag to speak of, whether that be Bluetooth or the dongle on the PC. Everything here simply worked in time on screen with what was going on my controller. So yeah, everything here worked very well in that regard. Moving on now to the battery life. I've had this controller for about 2 months now, and I've never had a problem with the battery at all. I do charge my controller before each gaming session, but during those sessions I game for about 2 to 3 hours, and during those times I've never had an issue with power loss, so the battery life is very good for me so far. Next up is the value of the controller itself at only $36, and this being wireless, it's just an excellent value. It's also at the very top in terms of wireless controllers that you're going to be able to get for your PC. I absolutely love this spending decision that I made, and I absolutely would make it again. And last up, here's the one little negative that I have about this controller, and that's the programmable combos inside of the manual. It's very hard to understand. I will be able to get the hang of it eventually, however, just know, in terms of the instruction manual, it can be very confusing and will most definitely give you a headache. Alright everybody, that about does it for this review. I hope I gave you enough information in order to make a more informed purchasing decision here on this controller. Also, before you go, make sure that you give me a like if you like the video, as well as subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content from me. I don't always do these types of videos. More often than not, I'm doing food reviews and just about anything else I feel like doing whenever I have the free time. Also, I have a website, groovysauce.com. Everything that you do there helps out me and the channel. Alright everybody, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.